So knowing that it's a chipping away, it's not sort of an instant rise, how do you respond to friends, colleagues, whomever, who say, "Hey, I know you know so and so. Can you get my work to that person?"
It's very interesting. When Killing Winston Jones was going, uh, there were some write-ups in Variety and on Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, and some of my friends who had seen those um, started approaching me pretty often and asking me, how did you get it done, how did it happen, can you help me out. I mean, even people who are outside of the industry who maybe I grew up with or from my hometown just heard that I'd gotten a little bit of success, and all of a sudden they hadn't written a day in their lives. I don't even know if they'd read screenplays before or read novels, but they were banging on my door and saying they wanted to be screenwriters, because if I could do it, then why couldn't they do it? So but I would never discourage anyone from pursuing writing. As I mentioned before, it's a very difficult art form um, where there are challenges on a daily basis in storytelling. But usually when someone comes to me and they have a script or they want to help me get it to someone else, or if they want me to, they want to pitch me an idea, I will always be open to listening to that idea. That being said, that idea has to be something that I'm interested in. So if they want me to get a script to someone, I will of course read that script and then make that ultimate decision. If it's something that I love, sure, I'll take it to anybody. Wherever I think it works or wherever they want it to go, if I have connections, I would love to help them out. If it's something that I think needs work or needs some revisions or a different approach, I will let them know that as well. So I think a prime example is a friend of mine who is a transplant surgeon here in Los Angeles contacted me last January because he'd heard that Killing Winston Jones was in production, and he called me and said, "I want to congratulate you on the film, and I'd love to sit down with you and talk to you about writing." So usually when I get that from someone, I know it means one of two things, especially if they're outside of the industry. It either means they think that their life is very interesting and they think they deserve a reality TV show, or something, or it's because they want to pitch me an idea, and usually it's the latter. So I had a feeling that he was going to try to pitch me an idea, which I'm always open to, but for some reason, over the course of several weeks and months, I kept getting other meetings and I had to push this lunch. Finally, we sat down maybe 4 or 5 months later, and he started pitching me an idea. And it was amazing. It was probably the best pitch I've ever heard. If not the best, one of the top 5. And it was from someone who was, like I said, a transplant surgeon outside of the industry. And I knew from that moment that was something that I wanted to work on. And the moment I left that meeting, I took it to Joel David Moore. I pitched him. We were talking about different projects, but I pitched him this idea. He loved it. He had a meeting later that day with ICM talking about different projects, pitched them. They loved it. And that evening, someone from ICM sat down with the development exec at AMC and off the record pitched them. And they said, "It's fantastic. Show us something when you have it." So within a 24-hour period, it went up the chain to a network, to AMC. And that's unheard of. That process would take weeks or months if you have a great concept. So I think given the right project, if anyone brings me anything and I like it and I believe in it and I think it has legs, I will definitely help you, and if I can, and I'll take it to the people that I have connections with. But if it's a project, and unfortunately it's just the way that it is, 99.9% of the time, scripts or concepts or projects need a lot of work. And if they're willing to put the work in, I'll give them my thoughts, my notes, my ideas, and if they get it to a place where I think it's bulletproof and great, I'll take it out. But it's a process, and it's a long process. And that's what I hope that my friends do for me. I know it's not easy. If I take a project to Joel or to John or to Richard or someone, they have to like it in order to take it to their connections and their people. I don't expect them to just take it to people because they know me and we're friends. it has to be because it's a good piece of material, and that, I think that that's respectful.